Hi, good morning, everybody. It is Alyssa, and I'm excited to hop on here for just a little bit. My kids are got out, and I'm gonna come down here and make a cup of coffee. We're going ice skating this afternoon, so we'll see how that fun goes. I'm super excited because I want to talk to you guys about some of my goals and different things that I have upcoming. I don't know if you are, I don't know if I'm working this, okay. Aware, I have a couple of different things going on. I'm kind of, basically a serial worker, like a workaholic, but not for the same jobs. I have lots of projects like creating content, hopping up with you guys. I do work a 9-to-5 corporate job that helps pay the bills, all that fun stuff. And I have my own pet sitting business. It's a luxury pet service business here in Ohio, which is awesome. And it kind of runs itself, so I have it in its sweet spot. But I am looking to become a certified ADHD life coach. And I've created systems, I've created resources. If you go to conqueryouradhdchaos.com, you can see all that stuff. There's some freebies up there too. But it's like, I am so ready to go bigger. And I know that I'm capable of doing it. And I've been thinking about this. This isn't just like a whim. This isn't just something like, ooh, I woke up on a Sunday morning and decided that this is the path I'm going to take. If you've been following me or checked out any of my content, I'm pretty open and straightforward about my ADHD experience, some tips and tricks and hacks and all of that fun stuff that I have. But I want to take it to the next level. I have created content and resources that have made a global impact, that have reached 7 different countries, which I'm like, yes, that's so awesome. Because that is like my dream, is to help women all over the world with ADHD. And if you don't know much about me, I've been diagnosed since the mid to early 90s. So it's something that I have lived with my whole life. I'm not diagnosed as an adult, which is very common. And going through those life transitions and going through just life in general, I can share experiences of high school, of adolescence, of going through puberty, transitioning into college, and that secondary education. Transitioning out of college and into adulthood, transitioning from single woman into married woman, transitioning into married woman into mother, transitioning into married mother into single mother, moving, transitioning my careers, thinking that I was on the right career path and realizing I'm not on the right career path. And I've had a lot of those moments too. And if you're anything like me with your ADHD, you get bored easily. The longest I have stayed at a 9-to-5 corporate job is 5 years. And I've stayed within careers longer than that, but 5 years is kind of my longest run within my 15-year career, if that makes sense, my working career post-college. And I totally love that. Like, I love that I've had a lot of experience. Folks can say something about ADHD people. It's like, oh my gosh, they can get, jobs so easily. Like they're awesome at getting jobs, but then like they get burnout, or maybe they job hop a lot. And the tip with that is, find a career where you're able to have flexibility. You have a creative process, you have creative input. I really don't think, a factory job doing the same thing over and over and over again is the healthiest environment for somebody with ADHD, because we're constantly looking for that next dopamine fix, that next level, that next hyperfixation, that next hyperfocus. Contentment is difficult. Can be difficult with us. But that's okay. It's part of the journey. It's part of who we are. ADHD is a chronic condition. We're with it for our entire life. And so, being in my mid to late 30s, I have to decide what is it that I'm going to do to actually reach and manifest and create the life that I want to live. And a lot of times we can settle, and we can settle too quickly, and I'm not willing to do that anymore. So anything that I'm doing right now, with my content and, you know, all of this stuff, not only is it helpful and like really awesome for me. Hold on, I'm gonna sit down here and enjoy this up here so I don't have to carry it around. Okay. So not only is it like super fun and therapeutic and a really great outlet for me because I really love creating content, but it helps me too because I'm also a mom of a child with ADHD, and it's my son, so it's completely different, different symptoms, different experience, and it would still be different if it was my daughter, but, just having a boy, a son in general, it is different. Having a daughter, you can understand things a little bit differently. So I want to be there for them more. I love working from home. I love the opportunity to be able to get my kids on and off the bus each and every day. I love the fact that if they have a sick day or something like that, or a day off school, that they can come and cuddle up next to me and I can sit in my bed next to them while they're snuggling or trying to feel better or resting or watching TV or whatever it is. There's a lot of blessings out there. But there's something more that I think I'm capable of. And it's pretty humbling because you kind of reach you like have this like these roller coasters, these parabolas of life, if you will. And you go up and down and up and down. And, sometimes it's like you start a new job. And it's really exciting, you're furiously like I used to be in catering sales. Okay, so I would plan events, do catering events all over the city, all over the state. It was great opportunity in my 20s. And if I would start with a new catering company, before I would even really interview, I would be like obsessively hyper focused on learning the menus, learning their pricing, learning all of this stuff, because I felt like I just had to retain all that information in order for me to be a good employee, right? As long as I knew that 2 + 2 = 4, it was all good, right? So then you get excited, like, okay, you're going in. What's your workspace going to be like? Is it going to be an office? Is it going to be a desk? What's it going to be like? So you get excited about that and the anticipation of decorating it and making it your own. And then you start to think about the people and you start meeting people. Okay. So you start meeting people in different departments, hey, this is Alyssa. She's our new sales manager, blah, blah, blah. All this type of stuff. Everybody's cordial. Everybody is excited that you're there. Oh, we're so glad that you got hired. It's so welcoming. Yay. And then you start to, all of these things like feed into it. It's such a great experience. And you feel like, oh my goodness, maybe is that person going to be my new best friend? Are we going to like totally click? Or, oh my goodness, like I heard that, where everybody goes to lunch on Fridays. So, I wonder if somebody's going to invite me to lunch or, what the plans are, and just like super fun things like that. And it feels almost juvenile sometimes. It's really funny, but, it's just, again, I want to do something where I can wake up every morning and feel good about what I am doing and feel good when I'm off the clock, knowing that I'm making a difference. And not only for my kids' lives, because I have a lot of goals and dreams and aspirations, and a lot of those things have been accomplished. I've been able to achieve those. It's awesome. But I'm not done yet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not done yet. So, what is it sometimes that we have to do? Taking the risks, not being compulsive with our actions, but taking that risk of doing something that maybe you didn't know was on your plate. Like, you didn't know that, like, I didn't know a year ago, like, end of October 2021, I had no idea that I would be creating so much content that I have for ADHD and the awareness and the community. And I'm slowly chipping away building my community here, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, on all of those fun things. So, it's trickling in, right? But it's not necessarily, going as quickly as I'd hope, but I'm also believe in pace. Because if it was going so quickly, then maybe I would have gotten burned out on it, right? The point is, with all of this, I've started creating content and started learning and exploring ADHD and talking to other people about ADHD, and not just here in the States, like all over the place. I have friends in Colombia that I work with, and they share their experience. And so it's a global experience, right? And women are getting diagnosed with ADHD en masse. And there's a lot that can go with that. It can be really scary sometimes, right? It can be really, what's the word? I guess intimidating is the best word, but it's not the word that I'm trying to convey. But it can be intimidating. It can be defeating. It can be really relieving. It can be like, yes, finally I have some answers to what has been my ail for so long, right? And the best part about it is that ADHD, it's not curable, but it's treatable, right? So nothing is going to cure our ADHD. It's a neurophysiological, it's the way that we're made. It's wiring up here that we can't just go in and unplug and do the classic, Nintendo blowing into your game console and plugging it back in. I really wish it was that simple. But it's not. And medications are not the cure-all, end-all, be-all. So, if this, oh my goodness, I got medicated, the world is going to absolutely fall into place. It doesn't work like that. You have to have systems, you have to have community, keeping up on your research, and take it from me, because I did not necessarily always do that. In fact, in college and in my 20s and different things like that, I had no systems, and there were a lot of consequences for it. And looking back, I can calculate what systems would have worked for me in order to make those achievements. There are so many times, and I think this is just a common human experience of, oh, if I could go back, what would I do differently? What would I do differently? I think everybody experiences that in some capacity. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, if I went back to college. It could have been like, if I went back to that night, or if I went back to high school, I would have tried out for the play that I always wanted to. It doesn't have to be these catastrophic things like, if only I would have turned left instead of turned right, I wouldn't have gotten in that car accident. No. I mean, of course, those are traumatic, major life events that can happen to people, but it can be just little teeny tiny things of, maybe I should have spoken up for that kid that was getting bullied, different things like that. So each of us experience that little type of what ifs, or I shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? And here's some encouragement for you. You could still learn from those. Don't ever regret an experience, because there's always a building stone for it. There's always, hey, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And it's like one of those things, like, we have to do the right thing that is for us, because especially folks with ADHD, they continue to want to be people pleasers. Like, that is like one of our biggest things, because we want to feel like we did it right. Like, we didn't have to second guess ourselves. We didn't, that type of affirmations, and we got to release some of that. I have lived a lot of times, like most of my career, of other folks that are very, very close to me in my family saying, Alyssa, I don't think that that's a good fit for you. Or, Alyssa, I know you better than you know you. Or, Alyssa, you need to really consider, and that type of accountability is okay, but not when it's who are you to be, like, do you think you're qualified to do something like this? And those things over time can batter somebody down. And it's almost to the point where it's like you get some praise at work and you want to screenshot that and send it to those people and see like, look, I did do good. See, I did do good. And that is not the way to go, yo. Like it is really difficult for us to continue to chase that. And we get the dopamine fix from it because it's like, yes, I did it. And then we get the praise or the anticipated praise for that that accomplishment. And when we don't get it, it could be bad. Like, hey, like, why didn't you throw a parade for me washing, drying, folding, and putting the laundry away within one day? Why didn't I get a parade for that? Like it's like that second, like, okay, you're done with the laundry, boom, dopamine boost. Then next, it's like, okay, now it's like, okay, I want somebody to notice. It's like we're constantly grasping for that affirmations. And so when we take back control of the things that we actually want for us, y'all, I can't tell you how empowering it is. And it's terrifying because you still are going to be seeking that affirmation. Most recently, when I told some people that are very close to me that I wanted to pursue a career in ADHD life coaching and that I was going to start pursuing my certification as soon as possible and looking into different, this is just kind of what my plan is. For the first time from this person, they said, go for it. Go for it. It wasn't anything of, are you sure? Are you sure? It wasn't, do you think that'll pay the bills? Different things like that, okay? It's like, why just like, I'm excited about something. This is something that I'm interested in. Like, can we just like celebrate, together? Just having different interests and evolving. I don't think it's like, I don't think it's necessarily a flex anymore to be with the same company for 30, 40 years. Yes, there is an amazing accomplishment with that, okay? Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong, especially if you're moving within the companies and everything like that. It is huge, okay? So I am not minimizing that. But it's not necessarily, where are the opportunities for that, for growth? And where are the opportunities of doing exactly what you want to do? And some folks will say, well, I stayed with this job because of the retirement benefits, or I stayed with this job because it was stable and I get great health insurance. How many of these folks are saying, I stayed with this exact company for 30 to 40 years because I felt I was making a difference. I woke up every single morning feeling good about the people and the places and the things that I was doing and the missions that I was hoping to accomplish within those 30 years. I'm going to tell you, I have no statistics on this, so this is just like grasping at straws here. Y'all, I'm going to tell you, it is probably going to be like 2 or 3 out of 10 people will say yes. And, what happened to me, that little girl in first grade who wanted to be a singer when she grew up, okay? And I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to go run and join the opera right now, okay? But at some point we had this type of internal desire, and it may not have been a singer. Maybe I meant to do public speaking, or maybe it's my innate desire to just spread joy in some way, shape, or form, and maybe I was just a little too young to kind of articulate that, but a singer sounded really good, right? Especially in the 90s, woo-wee. It was really good. So I just want to, again, encourage you all, having this opportunity, having the courage to do something, taking that risk, is such a beautiful gift. And if you have a gift or there's something that your ADHD that you can attribute to that, and it's, oh my goodness, how can I use this gift? Because there's no switch of ADHD, y'all. It's not like, boop, boop. Okay, here's my ADHD personality. Boop. It's completely, we don't really have control of that. Trust me, sometimes I really wish that we did, because there are days at work, when I would sit down and I just want to be like, come on, brain, turn on, do the things I know you need to do. Can we not hyper-focus on the Scholastic Book Fair things and go down the rabbit hole? Can we actually do the work that I'm supposed to be doing right now, right? Can we hyper-focus on the things I'm supposed to hyper-focus on? Completely different posts, completely different time, completely different lives. There are different tools to overcome some of those and to at least healthily channel our hyper-focuses and everything. And I totally went on a tangent and lost myself, poof. But circling back around, to have those opportunities to use those gifts, that is one of the greatest things that I think we could have come out of the pandemic, is having that opportunity for self-reflection, seeing an opportunity to reflect on our own morals and values, an opportunity to reflect on how to interact with people who are different from us or who have different opinions from us. It's a great opportunity for growth. It was also an opportunity, unfortunately, for a lot of regression. Addiction went up, skyrocketed, especially with alcohol. As a result of the pandemic, depression, anxiety, mental health issues have just completely skyrocketed. And most people that are dealing with that right now do attribute that to the pandemic. It's like, look, things were just kind of peachy, but now it's just getting kind of crappier. And then trying to get the support and the help that is available and that is needed. And there is a nurse shortage. There is a therapist shortage. There are psychiatry shortages. It is not the easiest route right now for folks to pursue getting diagnosed with anything, whether it be, anxiety, depression, or more chronic things. I mean, even getting surgeries scheduled, it doesn't necessarily have to be mental health, but ultimately mental health, the needs of that have definitely skyrocketed as a result of the pandemic. But taking that time and the opportunity for that self-reflection, what is it? What are these gifts that I have that we can give back to the world, and actually wake up in the morning knowing that I spent that 9 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. doing the things that I love to do and that the people in the world around me needs. And no, this isn't some type of hyper egotistical rant here, okay? I say that because a lot of times folks with ADHD, we mask a lot and we try to do what, that might sound interesting, or that, we do things that just might pique our interest for a moment, but it doesn't necessarily stick. And so it's like we kind of think like, oh, real estate. Oh, I can definitely get into the real estate mindset. What do I know about realty? Let's start, what are some verbiages about, interior design? Well, I initially went to school for interior design. So what are some different things? Oh, Ethan Allen. Ethan Allen is actually the first job that I really had. And I was a receptionist and I learned a lot and I was an intern there and got my hands on fabrics. Ooh, a history of fabrics. I mean, do you guys see how this goes? It is just completely how this can all go down this entire funnel. But taking that time, that's what I'm talking about. Using our authentic selves, going back to some of those childhood wants and needs and being like, in first grade, I wanted to be a singer. Today, Lord knows, I do not want to be a singer. However, I did join the worship team at some point at church. So, that's one way that I was able to at least kind of give back or use my voice in some way. But I think it's more of a public platform, public speaking, different things like that. And with my current time that is used between that 9 o'clock and that 5 o'clock, that 9 o'clock a.m. and 5 o'clock p.m., is that opportune time for me to help accomplish my goals. And the world needs our authentic voices, okay? We've got enough of everybody else out there, okay? This is like, I am ADHD, I am creative, I am freaking awesome, I am resilient, I am brilliant. Hear me fucking roar. You know what I'm saying? Like, enough is enough. Okay? And I think employers need to be like, boom, ADHD is a flex. Let's get you on board. Let's see what we can do to accommodate you. Trust me, I've had some conversations with some different human resource departments about neurodivergent support within the workplace. Okay. Again, different topic, different day. But using our voices, this world authentically needs us, authentically needs you. Okay. It needs, let me flip that. My dyslexia just kicked in. It needs the authentic you. Okay. This world needs the gifts that you tend to hide. If you talk with your hands a lot, stop sitting on them. Okay? Just because it distracts Billy Bob Joe over here, I don't know. Use your hands. My goodness gracious. Maybe there's something you could do to communicate with people. Maybe sign language could be something that could be helpful for people. Maybe art, maybe a trade. I wish I was a lot better with my hands than I am. I just have not put in a lot of practice to really master anything, whether it be like crocheting or painting, ceramics, different things like that, things that I enjoy. But again, I digress. The point is just putting down that guard, taking a deep breath. Okay. If you go outside and it's sunny and take that deep breath, I promise you, it's going to be a little bit more impactful than just sitting where you are right now or laying on the couch scrolling and watching, which I'm really glad you're here. Please. Thank you so much for being here. But being intentional and being mindful. I started considering becoming an ADHD life coach and getting certified for that last spring. So it has been a good 6 months, at least, for me to really consider this. And don't get me wrong, when I first started and decided, oh my goodness, I feel like this is my life's calling, my purpose, I wanted to jump on every single website, go down the whole of just finding the absolute best certification, the cost, down to the penny, how much it would cost me. I was very, very tempted to do that. Instead, I poured my heart out into just creating content. And I did connect with another ADHD life coach, and did take some coaching and sessions from her and still connected with her and, building my network a little bit in that capacity. But I was really protective of it because at that time, I really did not want to swallow it whole. I didn't want to choke on it, okay? I want to bite little bits and pieces. And I think that's the difference between this calling right now about becoming an ADHD life coach and some of the other bright ideas that I had had. Almost a year ago, I wanted to go get my real estate license, okay? And I love real estate. I do. I love it. I love real estate. I could just hop on realtor.com or Zillow and just browse houses and I love it. All over the world, looking at unique houses. I really enjoy that. So I thought maybe I want to be a realtor or maybe I want to do some type of design or go back to school or something like that. I initially went to school when I was a freshman at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. I initially went to school for interior design and fine arts. And I learned that my hand is not as a discipline. We talked about hands, right? So case in point. So it's one of those, I went to school for art. I wanted to maybe pursue that. Growing up, my folks had a business where they built spec houses and then flipped them. So I kind of grew up, around construction and different things like that. It was one of their side businesses. And I thought maybe that's what I was going to do. I was going to revive their old business. Well, time, I didn't hop onto real estate schools, looking at the cost, and it really got down to like considering it, like, would this make me happy? And some of the things like I want to do is I want to travel all over the world. I want to speak on public platforms all over the world. I want to take my kids with me. If it's my dream to world school. They're getting older, so I hope to be able to accomplish that at some point. So being a real estate agent would not give me a lot of flexibility, right? So again, having the past 6 months of taking time to decide and consider what is it that I want to do, and is this life coach path truly one worth pursuing? After, again, everything that I've come across within these past 6 months, I've decided to, yes, I'm going to go all in with it. It is something that I believe will be a great return on my investment. It is something that will help me better understand me and my systems. Also, the resources and the programs that I have created through conqueryouradhdchaos.com and alyssapaincoaching.com. There's a lot of benefits for me to be a better parent, to also help my son who is neurodivergent. So I really see that the benefits of enrolling into this certification process is just tenfold. So I'm going to hop off of here. I'm going to go, I got to get started on some lunch for my kiddos. We're going to go ice skating this afternoon, which I'm excited about. It's kind of like the nice kickoff before the winter months come here in Ohio. There's a lot of snow and it's cold and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to hop off here, get the kids' lunch going before we go ice skating. But thank you, everybody, for hopping on here. Nurse Bacon, thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate you, girl. And if there's anything that you guys ever need, just put down in the comments, like, hey, can you reach out to me? We'll figure out a way to connect. My inbox is always open. And again, much love to you. You guys are safe. You are loved, and you are always welcome here. Have a great day.